Hey everybody, I'm Dave Cicimurri. I'm the curator of natural history here at the South Carolina State Museum. Welcome back to another Fossil Friday, and today we are talking turkey. Everything turkey. Well, not everything. Most of the stuff's turkey. Some of it's not. But I'll tie it all together. So turkeys here, like I've got to my right and in front of me, we've got a wide range of things to talk to you guys about today. We've got some bones, we've got some eggs, we've got a nest, and then our taxidermied turkey there. So if you've never seen a turkey in the wild, here's one right here. This is a male turkey, so in all of its splendor. Turkeys we tend to associate with the fall and with harvest. Turkeys are an unusual bird, and it's the South Carolina State game bird. And if we look here in front of me there to my right, we've got a turkey nest. So turkeys are typically considered ground birds. Ground birds, although they do go up into trees at night to kind of nest up there, not nest, but to kind of hang out to avoid predators. But they do make a nest on the ground, and typically they scratch a little basin and then they may line it with different things. So this one here you can see has got pine straw and twigs, and it's got leaves. And there are actually still some eggs in there. So for whatever reason, the person who found this collected the nest, and some of the eggs, when you look at them, they're broken up, and that makes us think that the baby's hatched. But then some other ones, they're broken into, and it looks like maybe a predator got in there, maybe a raccoon or a possum to get to the yolk. So not all the eggs hatched, but that's an interesting little thing. And then in front of me here, we do have a series of eggs, and these eggs were collected way back in 1941 from down in Beaufort. So there are several different species of turkey, and there are a few different subspecies, but this particular one here is Meleagris scalopavo, and for those of you who know your Greek mythology, Meleagris was one of Jason's Argonauts. So if you're familiar with the story of the Golden Fleece, Meleagris was known as a great hunter, and he slew the Caledonian boar. So that's what he's known for. And that's maybe where it gets its name from. And these actually are in the same group that turkeys are. And that Galopavo is the kind of relation of the last name, the species name, for the turkey. Now, if we move over, I suppose, to my left here, we've got a series of bones. And all of these bones are from a site here in South Carolina, from Dorchester County. And they're about 500,000 years old. So these are the oldest turkey fossils that we know of in South Carolina. But the group that turkeys belong to goes back even further than that. They go back to the Myosin epoch, more than 20 million years. So that group's been around for a long time. And when we look at these particular bones up here in front of me, we've got the arm set up, and then we've got the leg set up. And what I'll do is I'll point to the different bones and try and put them in relation to the pigeon skeleton that we have here. So if you've never seen a bird skeleton before, this is it right here, and you can see all the different bones together or articulated. So if we start right here with these two bones, these are the coracoid and the scapula, and those occur up over here in the front of the bird, and the humerus, or the upper arm bone, connects to it on one side, which the humerus is here, and then the other end connects down here to this bone called the sternum. And what we've got right here is a goose sternum, and so the coracoid connects up here, and then the two bones, the coracoid and the scapula, form the joint that the humerus connects to. And that happens to be what this bone is right here. So this is the upper arm bone, again, the humerus of the turkey. Then the two bones a little further down, this here is the ulna, and then the other one we have a fragment of is the radius. And so in our arm, you've got these two bones here. The ulna is your elbow here going down to your pinky, and then the radius is on your thumb side. And what's neat about birds is that their bones are hollow. So if we were to take a look at this arm bone here, this humerus, you can see that the bone is hollow. The exterior is actually fairly thin, and inside there are a few struts that help to keep the bone from being crushed, and that is an adaptation for birds to lighten up the load of the skeleton to make it easier for them to fly. So if you look at the sternum on the pigeon, this bone right here, you can see that big crest, and over here on the goose you also have this large crest, and that's where the flight muscles connect. And so the flight muscles are really big to help the bird flap those wings to get up off the ground. And this bone right here is called the furculum. That's what this is right over here, coming off the front end of the pigeon. And there's a right and left side, and they typically fuse up. So those who are familiar with the tradition at Thanksgiving of pulling the wishbone, that's the sternum. So when you pull that apart, you're breaking the sternum, or the furculum, into the right and left side. So that's what that is right there. And then if we move over to this row right there, we have, first of all, this is the sacrum or the pelvis for the goose, and that's what this big thing of bone is back in here. The pelvis is where the thigh bone, which is our upper leg bone, connects. There's a socket back in there that the ball of the femur, right there, connects to. And that's what this bone is here, is the femur. And then a little further down, you've got this long bone here, this long bone there. That is the tibiotarsus, it's called. It's like our shin bone. So in humans, we've got a tibia, which is the large bone that forms the edge of or the front end of your shin, and then there's a smaller bone called the fibula, and in birds they tend to fuse up. And then further down, we've got two bones. It's actually the same bone in the skeleton. It's called the tarsometatarssus. And what that is several bones fused together. So in our foot, or if I use my hand as an example, we've got several bones, and each one of the bones that comes down here leads to a finger, and in birds, those bones tend to fuse up into this one element. But when you look at the way tip down over here, you can see where the bones for the actual toes would come off, and you can see the 1, 2, 3 toes here on the pigeon. That's the 1, 2, 3 toes for the turkey. What's neat about the turkey here, those two bones up there, is that the birds of this group have a spur, the males do. And so that's what actually this projection is right there, that bony projection. So that tells us there, that morphology, that feature, that particular bone belonged to a male. And the other one that lacks that feature is a female. So another kind of neat thing about birds is that in turkeys is that they are related to dinosaurs. So things like Tyrannosaurus rex, Velociraptor, birds actually evolved from dinosaur ancestors. So at the end of the Cretaceous, 65, 66 million years ago, when dinosaurs like T-Rex and Triceratops go extinct, other dinosaurs, birds, make it through that extinction event and survive to today, and there are about 10,000 different species of birds around the world. So I think that's it for today for us. Thanks for joining us. If you guys have any interesting turkey facts or turkey stories, feel free to leave us a comment. If you have any questions, give us a comment there too. Follow us, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us.